I can already feel it in my bones. I'm gonna be scatterbrained in this video. I am so excited. I have so many various things to tell you guys about this month that I have fallen in love with. So that's what we're gonna do. I have some new lighting going on. So hopefully I've got the settings correct on the camera to like account for the better lighting. I have a feeling it'll be some trial and error, but this is like the first video I'm filming with this. So yeah, my fingers are crossed that the footage looks good. Anyway, all right, we have a lot of like new drugstore finds I've fallen in love with. A couple of things I absolutely did not like this month we're gonna talk about, and just a lot of various lifestyle-y things too. Let's dive in. Cheers if you've got your coffee, your tea, your water, whatever. First of all, before you ask, it's not a favorite, but I wanted to share what's on my lips. I've been on the quest for like a nude lip that works for me. And so I've bought a lot of things that are coming in the mail. I'm gonna be testing. Maybe I'll film it or maybe I won't, and maybe I'll share like my findings later. I don't know, we'll see. But this is what I'm wearing. I just filled in my lips completely with this Laura Mercier lip liner in Hazelnut Tea. It's kind of a deeper nude, but it kind of pulls more pink. And I feel like it works really well for me because I do have slightly more pigmented lips. So a lot of nudes are too light for me. And so they just look weird. And then my regular lip color shines through anyway. And then on top of it, I put up this Makeup by Mario lip gloss in Golden Nude, which I feel like worked really well because it definitely needed, I just put it on top of that there. But alone, it's a little more transparent. It's kind of like a peachy color. But again, it kind of pulls a little more nude, so I feel like together it looks nice. So I don't know if it's my ideal combo yet, but I am digging it. I feel like this is gonna be really nice for like fall. Like this combo is so pretty. I will say though, like with the Makeup by Mario glosses, I like them. They're supposedly volumizing. I don't notice that quality in it at all, and I do like a good volumizing gloss. It is pretty. I just feel like this is one of those glosses you can find at the drugstore really easily from like Rimmel or Milani or something like that. This is one that last night, I keep this in my nightstand, and last night as I was using it before bed, I was like, this is a favorite. Like I need to talk about this. So this is from Gold Bond. I just found it at the drugstore. It's their overnight deep moisturizing lotion. So I use this on my feet and ankles and my hands and elbows in the evening. Well, really like my hands, and then I just like rub it up my arm. But basically on the driest parts of my body before going to bed, especially my feet, because I feel like I wasn't really good about until this year doing that every night. And you really should. I mean, moisture is your friend with skin. It takes me literally 15 seconds at night to do it. And some nights I'll look at in my nightstand and see this and be like, oh, I don't really feel like doing it. I'm like, Jessica, it literally takes you 15 seconds, but it's really gonna be good for my skin. But it says it penetrates 10 surface layers deep. It works through the night and into the next day. And it's got, this is why I like, when I saw this in the store, this is why I bought it. It has hyaluronic acid, melatonin, antioxidants, and a calming scent. I love the scent of this. It's not overpowering. It's kind of light, but it now, oops, got it on my nose. Of course I did. Now I like associate this smell with sleep, which is nice. But it's just a very calming, almost, is it like lavender? Kind of smells lavendery, but not overwhelmingly so, because sometimes lavender can be like too much, you know? Anyway, I just really like it. I feel like it's really moisturizing. It feels really good. And yeah, I wanted to recommend it. I also think it's cute that it looks all like twilighty. Now I just want to go to bed. So if you're looking for a good nighttime moisturizer for like not your face but everywhere else. All right, a skincare favorite that, okay, listen, you've heard me talk about this. You've heard many people talk about this. If you still have not tried this, it's time. It is probably like top 3 skincare game changers I've ever tried. And when I stopped using it for the past like 3 or 4 months because I'd run out and I hadn't gotten a new one, there was a huge noticeable difference in my skin. It's the Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid exfoliant. If you've been hearing about this, like I said, and you've been like, I don't really get it, or I don't really need that, or it can't make that much of a difference. When I tell you that a week after starting using this again, I had texture on my chin, I had texture right here, my skin was a little bit more uneven than normal. I used this every night for 1 week, and it was all back to normal. My redness was way down, the texture was gone, my breakouts were gone. Like, it really is that good, you guys. It really is. And it's not insanely expensive when it comes, like, I mean, think about the skincare world. It gets crazy, the prices. This is so good. It is that good. I do have like a landing page with Paula's Choice. I can put the link below. You'll see what I mean. If you click the link, you'll see what I mean by a landing page. And I do get some commission back from that. I get commission back from any links in my description box for the most part. So, but I always want to be upfront about that. But it really, you guys, is a game changer. It's time. It's time to try it, you guys. But okay, a least favorite skincare product. It's from a brand that I freaking love, okay? And I wanna be very clear about why I don't like this. This is from La Roche-Posay, and it's their vitamin C serum. I've seen this a lot all over Instagram. They did send this to me. I think the serum itself is nice. It's got what I want in a vitamin C serum. It's got pure vitamin C, 10%. I appreciate that it has an expiration date on it because with stuff like this, you know, you really do want to know like when it expires. It's kind of a yellowy orange color, even when you first open it. So I know a lot of times when you see vitamin C, you're like, oh no, it's gone bad. But this one, like that's just the way it is when you first buy it. This, if you are trying to wear it during the day, which is my favorite time to put on a vitamin C serum, like that is just how I incorporate it in my skincare routine. It will pill up like crazy under your makeup, like crazy. So for me, the times I've used this, I've tried it where I would typically do with the vitamin C serum. I put it on, wait a little while, then put on sunscreen, wait a little while, and then later go in with like makeup and stuff like that. That's what I've done every day for like the past year or two. This just doesn't work during the day. So if you like already have this or you're just dying to try it, I would say really unless you're not wearing makeup, I would say use this at night. Like it's the only way to use it without it pilling up. So I might try to use a little bit more, but again, I just don't use vitamin C serums at night. Maybe I'll see, since this is pretty new, if a sister or someone wants it, but I think the product itself is fine. It's just the actual like usage of it just doesn't work for me. But man, La Roche-Posay, like one of my favorite lotions is from them. I love their cleanser. I love their sunscreen. We've been using a lot of their sunscreen lately. Another favorite sunscreen is this Aveeno Protect and Hydrate. I have like 4 favorite sunscreens right now. This is the one I'm gonna highlight this month because I could go crazy on like body sunscreens. This one is just a nice summer sunscreen. There is absolutely no white cast, has SPF of 30, and I think they go higher as well. I think you can get higher than 30. But it is so moisturizing and it feels so good on the skin. It makes your skin look dewy. It doesn't look glowy because it's not like the copper tone glowy SPF that I absolutely love as well. I can link below. Oh my gosh. They now make a spray version of that glow sunscreen. You better believe I already bought it. Anyway, but this one is just so easy to use. And like sometimes with the copper tone, if I'm wearing like white, I don't want to use the copper tone because I'm scared it's going to get like that on the color, like the white shirt or the white dress. This is amazing because I'm never worried about it getting on my clothes. And it smells really nice. Let's start one more hair thing and then we'll dive into some beauty stuff. This dry shampoo shocked the heck out of me, okay? This is from Amika. I've heard some of my favorite YouTubers talk about this and absolutely like it is their holy grail. And so I was like, okay, fine. And during whatever last sale, I want to say Ulta, I bought it. Okay, they're right. It smells incredible. It works so well. The only thing I would say is it does leave a white cast, which many dry shampoos do. That's not, you know, it is what it is. So you just have to really make sure you work it in and work it out of your hair. You know what I mean? But other than that, I mean, I have no notes for this dry shampoo. It is so good. Totally planning on repurchasing. I am working on a dry shampoo comparison video, so I'll probably be trying a couple others within there, but this is just like, oh my goodness gracious. All right, let's talk about the makeup. I know you've been waiting. So I'm wearing a decent amount of this on my face, so I'll show you, you'll get to see me like actually applying it. All right, so a favorite that kind of surprised me is from Milani. This is their baked highlighter. Right away, I can feel some of you pulling away because you're like, yeah, powder highlighter, that's good. Okay, there's a million out there, I know that. That's why I almost didn't mention it because I'm just like, you can find, there's so many good powder highlights. But there is something about this one that I feel like makes my skin, where I put it, it makes my skin look smoother. And sometimes when you're using a highlighter that looks a little chunky or a little dry or whatever, it can highlight texture. This does not do that. I feel like it really just smooths as it goes on and it just catches the light beautifully. I don't always go for baked highlighters because I think I've just been burned too many times in the past. I feel like a lot of baked products I used to try like 6 or 7 years ago were really dry and scratchy. Nowadays, they're not, and I need to just get over that because every time I see a baked product, I'm like, I won't like it. This one is smooth as butter, you guys. Smooth as butter. You don't have to scrape off any like top layer, but it is beautiful. I love it on my brow bone as well. You could totally use this as an eyeshadow all over if you just want like a beautiful wash of shimmer. Don't overlook this at the drugstore, just saying. All right, another fail, all right, is from CoverGirl. It's their Clean Fresh Hydrating Concealer. You saw me try this one more time in a recent video I can link up in the eye and down below if you want to see me kind of retrying some things in my collection that were just kind of forgotten about. And I learned a lot in that video about some of these products, and this is one I learned that I just don't think it's good. I actually like the CoverGirl Clean Fresh like tinted moisturizer. I think Skin Milk is what it's called. That's like this same line with the pink. I actually like that. I also have their Clean Fresh powder I like for my under eye, like setting it. But the concealer that's part of that collection, I would say skip. It's really, really thin, but it doesn't really cover as much as I want. And I don't like a ton of coverage, but I do like, you know, like a medium amount of coverage. It really doesn't give me that. And on top of that, you can see it. You know what I mean? You can see it moving around. So I just don't think it's very good. I don't have much else to say about it. By the way, what I'm wearing on my eyes is not a favorite, but again, wanted to mention, let me rephrase. This has been a favorite for years, but it's not, you know, technically a favorite in this video. Who cares? Anyway, I make up these like very stringent rules for like my videos that none of you guys are aware of, but like in my head, I'm like, well, it doesn't count because it's not really this month's favorite, but it doesn't matter, Jessica. Get over it. This is the e.l.f. New Classics palette. I, again, reused it recently and fell back in love. Today, I just used rose gold all over the lid. And then I used truffle here to kind of blend it into the crease. That's it. I feel like this looks so nice. It looks like I worked harder on my eyeshadow than I really did. And it took me, you know, 40 seconds. So this palette is just truly, truly like a standby, really good palette for me. Okay, blush from Essence. It's the Essence blush in Befitting. Now, I did literally just this morning add to my cart another color in there. What shade was it? It was, oh, Bespoke, because it looks kind of like a bronzery one, and one of you guys was mentioning it might be a dupe for something. We shall see. So these are $2.99, you guys. And actually, the day I'm filming this, they're like $2.24 on Ulta's website. So just saying, this is such a beautiful everyday blush. It's kind of pinky, kind of mauvey. It reminds me of that Rimmel blush that used to be really big way back in the day, and I cannot think of what it was called, but I feel like this is like the exact shade that was. If you know what I'm talking about, please let me know in the comments, because that's hearkening back to like 8, 9, 10 years ago on YouTube, but it was a big blush, and Rimmel doesn't make it anymore. I'm like, oh, Rimmel, you fools. I feel like Rimmel would be wise to do like a throwback collection of like things people used to rave about on YouTube 10 years ago that all of them are gone. And it could literally be like a lipstick, whatever that Kate Moss one was. Maybe they still sell it. But like there are certain things they used to sell that they don't sell anymore, that if they brought all of those back into like one throwback collection, you're welcome, Rimmel. You can take the idea. I'll be very excited. I want to try that blush again. Anyway, adore it. It stays on really well. This is the powder blush I brought with me to Disney, and it's just so good. It's so beautiful. It's good. It's not shimmery, but it does have like almost a satin look to the skin. Beautiful. Cannot believe it's $3. Like, I would have bought it and recommended it at $10, so the fact that it's $3 is just incredible. Okay, a brow product okay, first of all, it's pretty rare that I mention a brow pencil as a favorite because, first of all, brows are so personal, and pencils, you can get good pencils at every price point everywhere. Like, it's pretty rare to find a bad brow pencil. The shade might not be right for you, but to find a pencil that's actually not good, which is why I don't always recommend them. But this is one, I feel like I couldn't be honest with myself and film this and not mention it because it's the only brow pencil I've been using for the past like month. It's from Anastasia, and it's the perfect brow pencil. I never hear anyone talk about this. The Brow Wiz, sure, like all of those things, but not their perfect brow pencil. The difference is the Brow Wiz is really thin and, you know, it's retractable. This is a classic wooden pencil. You can see I desperately need to sharpen this. Maybe it's because the shade is perfect. I have medium brown. It's perfect for me. If you don't need to completely fill in your brows and you feel like sometimes as you're filling them in, you tend to get a little heavy-handed, you don't need to press hard and you just kind of lightly fill them in. It brushes through so easily. And so I feel like the first time I tried it, I was like, oh, it's a little bit like dry, but that's what makes it magical, as weird as that sounds. And so I'm just such a fan, and I never thought I'd see the day that a wooden brow pencil would be the thing that just like sent me over the edge. But I love it so much. So if you know what your shade is in the Anastasia range, I really think you'll be impressed. Anastasia really is good about their brow color range. If you're like me, you're looking for kind of a darker-ish brown, but not too dark. But if you go too light, sometimes it pulls too warm or orange. They have a really good range to find ones that don't pull orange on you or pull too warm. Okay, I want to go take back everything I've ever said. I retried the Glossier Cloud Paints recently. Listen, I've tried a lot from Glossier over the years. I may have tried everything from Glossier at this point. And you don't hear me talk about them a lot because not a lot of them have become like staples that I'm just in love with, right? But these I've retried. I had tried them years ago and I was like, I don't get it. But it was way before I liked cream and liquid blushes and before I really understood how to apply them. These are magic. And the reason I think they're like genuinely kind of deserve the hype they get is because they kind of sheer out the way you need a liquid blush to sheer out. So if I get, usually what I'll do is I'll do this and then I'll start tapping it on my cheeks like this. And at first you're like, oh my gosh, but it so quickly blends into this beautifully wearable color and it stays on like a weirdly long amount of time for something like this. So that was the shade Beam. I also have the shade Puff, which is like their pink. They have quite a few other shades, but these, like if you're anywhere near my skin tone. I'm wearing Beam today actually over the Essence blush because I wanted to put both on. But I think Puff is actually my favorite if you were just gonna buy one because I think it's, for my skin tone, even more forgiving and more easy to blend out. But man, oh man, I just think this formula actually is worth the hype. I used to say a dupe for this was the Flower Beauty Blush Bombs, but I think they changed the formula of those, man. I still think they're okay, but they sheer out now too much. It's very bizarre. So if you've tried the old formula, the new formula, I think you'll see what I mean because they are not the same. So right now, I can't really say that those are a dupe for these, totally. All right, let's get into the weird stuff. A favorite from Target. I got them recently, so they should still sell them online, and I think people have found them in stores too. These leopard slippers are, first of all, so freaking cute. I always feel like such an Instagram-y person when I'm wearing them. Do you know what I mean? They're just cute. They're freaking comfortable. These are incredible. I love this. You just slip your foot in. It's just like kind of sandally. You've got breathing room through the little holes there because it's technically like a crisscross. They're just amazing. So I wanted to recommend them. I have 7'8" and I typically wear like a 7.5, 8 in shoes. So true to size. We are getting close to lunchtime, baby, and I am hungry. Strapless bra. I get so many questions about what my favorite is because I wear a lot of off the shoulder things, tank tops, etc. And so many of you are like, what bra are you wearing a bra with that? You know, this is my favorite. I've now bought multiple of them. They're my favorite. I do feel like this is kind of expensive, but if you've been trying so many different strapless bras, like let's say you've tried 4 different ones and they were all around $20, you've already spent enough to have just bought this one bra that I'm telling you is incredible. So it has this like elastic to it on the back that kind of sticks to you really well. And I do think one of them I've had for like 2 years, and after washing it a lot, that rubber that's on the inside has definitely started to like wear off. So it's something to be aware of. Don't wash it as often as you might like, and or just know that it might only last you a couple years and you might need to replace it. But it is very well made. It stays up. It works with so many different shirts. I don't feel like it gives me that weird shelf that some other strapless bras do. It is totally seamless. Like you don't see any seams through shirts. Like it is the perfect strapless bra. I'm here to tell you, I've tried a lot. So I will link it below. Like I said, it's expensive, but if you've been looking for a while, it might be time to like spend the money and give it a try because it is just incredible. I think I'd originally tried it through like a Nordstrom Trunk Club and then was like, okay, love it. And that's, of course, eventually I bought more. All right, I'm just gonna mention it and I don't care, it's so new to me, hold on. These Papermate Flare pens, but they're bold. Let me explain. If you have tried, like there's the classic Papermate Flare pens, let me show you what I mean. I use these a ton when I was teaching and I love them, but they're a medium point. I think it's like 0.7 millimeters, and I am someone, and I know a lot of you guys are the same, that likes a bold, thick line when I'm writing. I just like it. Well, I was at the store and I love school supplies, so I just like look at them. I found this and it's 1.2 millimeters, so it's a real nice thick. They're basically almost like markers, but I love them. I'll show you an example here. I'd post it on Instagram. That's what it looks like when you write with it. It's so good, you guys. These are so good. It was a big old pack. I bought them just at, I don't even know what store, maybe Meijer, that store near me I love so much. But I found the same pack on Amazon for the same price. So definitely worth checking out if you are in need of some new pen/markers. And they don't bleed through paper. I was just trying it in my planner and it doesn't bleed through. Like a lot of my Sharpie ones that I like bleed through, so I just can't use them for my planner, but these you totally can. So Highly recommend. Love them so much. Little food favorite, these Pepperidge Farm Brussels cookies. I was posting about them on my story the other day. Listen, they are my favorite cookie. Like, they are top tier, top 3 favorite cookies. They have this crunch to them that is so unbelievable. And then the dark chocolate in the middle. And then there's like a little bit of, it's like salt. It's super sweet, but also like there's a little bit of saltiness. And then there's the crunch. It's literally, my mouth is watering. It is literally my favorite. If you go through the aisle, like the cookie aisle, and you always get Milanos, give the Brussels a try. I love Milanos too. I think the mint Milanos are definitely like my second favorite. But Brussels take the cake. And if you have not tried them, you have got to try them. It's gotten to the point where like, I cannot buy them often. If I bought them every week, I would be in trouble because I could sit and kill a whole bag easily. I have to use a lot of self-control to make that bag last like at least 3 nights. My husband loves them too, but he is definitely a mint Milano lover. So it is like middle of summer right now and it's hot where I live. I mean, it's just hot. And so I don't run outside all the time, but when I do, like if I get out earlier in the morning before the heat really sets in, these are the shorts I'm wearing. And I have tried so many running shorts that just ride up uncomfortably or like the top will roll down. These are perfect. They're the best ones I've tried that are kind of like more like the bike shorts, but I just happen to run in them. You could bike in them too, I'm sure. But I love them. Zella's kind of, I think, an expensive brand from Nordstrom, but for stuff like this that, I've tried a lot of the cheaper versions and they just don't match up to this. They're my favorite and they move with you. They're compressing, but not too compressing. I can't run if I'm wearing something that's restricting me so much, especially around my like stomach, that I feel like I can't breathe. Not gonna happen. So these are compressing, but not too much so. All right, book favorite. Let me pull up. I think I know which one I wanna mention, but let me double check my little like list of books I've read this past month. All right, I'm gonna mention the one, I'm like 70% of the way through it, so I'm almost done with it. It's called The Guest List by Lucy Foley, and it's one of those books that like you read in a week, maybe less if you're like a super fast reader. A wedding celebration turns dark and deadly in this deliciously wicked and atmospheric thriller, reminiscent of Agatha Christie. They're on this island off the coast of Ireland and it's like literally like no one lives there. People used to and they all left for some reason. And this like famous couple is hosting this wedding there. And so oh my gosh, it's so interesting. And I still don't even know like what happens and I'm almost done with the book. That's what makes it so interesting. But when they say it's an atmospheric thriller, they set up where you are, that setting so beautifully. The author, Lucy, you can picture it perfectly. Like, I'm like, I want to visit this place. Like, it's just incredible. So both the imagery and the actual storyline itself is so interesting. So highly recommend. It's one that you won't be able to put down, which I love. So that's everything, I think, for this month. I had like 10 other things I could mention, but as I always say, I gotta cut it off somewhere. But I hope that this was enjoyable, this weird mix of favorites and fails for this month. I do this every single month. I have an entire playlist. If you wanna catch last month's, I filmed just a short 4 weeks ago. I will link the entire playlist below. It is ordered from newest to oldest, so you'd be watching as you go back in time, which is kind of cool. If you want to binge some of those, I still stand by all of those favorites. In fact, I always have to go back and look at what I mentioned to make sure I don't repeat things because I always end up having like a handful of things I'm trying to mention again. And I'm like, no, Jessica, you already mentioned that recently. Yeah, I hope you'll subscribe if you did enjoy it. I'd love to have you join our little family here and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.